Am I the asshole for wearing a bra instead of a swimsuit, bikini? I, 18F, screwed up my tan line from wearing regular clothes on campus, i.e. tank top and shorts. It gave me the worst farmer's tan. So the next day I decided to go out in shorts and a button-up cardigan with a bra underneath so I could hopefully fix the tan line. My friend, let's call her Amy, decided to tag along with me. We went to a secluded area on campus with low foot traffic and I took off the cardigan, revealing my bra to attempt to fix the tan line. If you're wondering why I didn't just go to the beach, it's because the nearest one is 7 hours away. Amy, shocked, asked what I was doing, and I told her beforehand, and now that I had to fix my ugly tan line. Again, we were in a low traffic area so no could really see me, which is why I didn't really care. After a minute of this or so, Amy just shrugged my behavior off to focus on studying. I snapped a pic of myself to another friend, we'll call her Elise, and told her to join in on the fun. Furious Elise says, "It's not funny, how could you be doing that, and all the other works?" Shocked by the negative response, I tell Elise that 20 or so guys on the track, cross-country team literally run outside all over campus with their shirts off and nipples showing. So why is it a problem when I go to a secluded area, and wear a bra and shorts? I later talk about this with Amy at lunch and she says what I did was indecent, the world doesn't revolve around you so you should be considerate of others, and that I should have at least wore a bikini top instead. I rebutted with the fact that the bra that I was wearing technically covered more of my chest and body than a bikini would, and that there's not much difference between the two articles of clothing besides the fact that one is meant to be in the water and the other one isn't. As for, the world doesn't revolve around you comment, I said, the world doesn't revolve around them either, so why should I cater to their feelings about what I'm wearing? And as for the indecent comment, the men on my campus literally jog and run around with a completely exposed chest with nipples showing. So how come it's a problem when I am wearing a bra that covers up more than what they're showing? Mind you, I live in the US and not a country where women's attire are controlled or reinforced. So imagine my shock when my democratic, liberal, semi-feminist friends are policing me on what to wear and that it's different for the men, and we don't make the rules. How ironic. Elise was also mentioning to me about how I could get kicked out for doing that in attempt to stop me, but she apparently had no moral problems with consuming marijuana and housing alcohol on campus when there are even stricter and explicit rules against having those items on campus. Plus she's under the age. Not to mention at this point I've noticed and personally feel that my friends constantly go out of their way to disagree with me. Is this a sign I should leave them? Am I the asshole? Edit update. 1. Elise and Amy weren't bothered by seeing me in my bra, just the fact that it was outside. 2. I wasn't attention seeking, which is why I went to a dead area in my campus to do this. 3. Other girls on my campus have also tanned outside on the ground and in more of a public area. 4. I chose my bra over my bikini tops because it covered more and gave me a better tan line. 5. There are no explicit rules on dress code, except for the gym room, as it's a small college and they honestly don't care what you wear. I couldn't find anything on it in the student handbook, nor have other people I know who wear risque items have been punished or disciplined for it. 6. PSA. No one came up to me because no strangers saw me, and if by chance they did, they didn't care. This was a debate between my friends thinking I would possibly offend someone in a secluded area, which made no sense. 7. My college, although private, is not conservative. 8. Elise and Amy have seen me butt naked before, they're no stranger to my body. As for the pic, I sent to Elise in a joking, quirky manner to cheer her up since she was in a sour mood before. If I wanted attention I would have posted it on my story, cheeky smiley face. Info: why does a bra make more sense to you than a bathing suit top? Not the asshole, but word of advice. Wear your bikini top because you need the tan lines to match what you would be wearing when you swim. Knowing your campus rules and local laws is important if you want to strip down like that. Have you never heard of sunscreen? You're 18. You shouldn't be getting a farmer's tan or trying to correct it by getting more, different exposure. AITA. I completely agree about the hypocrisy of female nipples being obscene while male ones are okay. I have no idea if you should drop your friends, there will be other things to consider, but I think you're safe to disregard their opinions. Not the asshole. There are bras that can pass as bikini tops and some bikinis that are way skimpier. I'd say it's fine, especially being in a more secluded area. Am I the asshole for telling my son to work on his obsession? I, 32 female, have a 10-year-old son who was my parents' first grandchild and the first nephew to my siblings. He can do no wrong in my family's eyes. He is my little prince, but I want to raise a responsible child, which means correcting him when necessary. Last year, we moved in with my older sister, 35 female. I love the bond that the two of them share, and at first I thought he was just excited about living with his favorite aunt, but 8 months later, this seems to be getting worse. Please tell me if this is okay. He insists on getting ready for school from her room, meaning she can't get ready for work in private. He follows her from the gate all the way to her room when she gets off work, meaning she can't change in private. He enters her room without knocking, goes through her stuff, reads her messages, takes her stuff, sulks and/or comes right back when asked to leave her room. He follows her everywhere around the house, and if he isn't next to her, you simply have to count to 10 and he'll be there. He will not sit anywhere except close to where she is sitting. He sometimes asks to go to her workplace if she's not home by the time she normally gets home. He sulks when she asks him for some space so she can shower or sleep. She has online evening classes. He'll barge into her room at least 5 or 6 times during her class unless she tells him no. He can sit by her feet or next to her just watching her until she asks him to stop or she gets up. Try to have a private conversation with my sister. He will interrupt incessantly or do something to get her attention. He wakes her up from afternoon naps or in the middle of the night because he wants to tell, ask, show her something. He hangs out with his friends during the day, reads, does homework, watches TV and just goes about his day until my sister gets home. Then he drops everything and focuses on her. A few days ago, I asked him to go to bed, then my sister opened her bedroom door about 45 minutes later and lo and behold, my son was standing in the dark hallway, just waiting by her door at nearly 10 p.m. I explained to him that he needs to give my sister some space and stop following her everywhere. I assured him that he can express his love in a healthy and respectful way and she won't love him any less if he isn't following her around. I said his behavior comes off a little obsessive, which is not cool. I also explained that, as a woman and an adult, she needs privacy within the confines of her bedroom and must not enter her room unless she asks him to. He was visibly upset with this. It isn't the first time that I or my sister have had this talk with him, but she said I went too far. I said at 10 years old, he can learn and respect boundaries. She said I was too harsh on him and called me an asshole. So I'm here to ask, am I the asshole for trying to raise a son that respects women? ETA. Thank you to everyone that has engaged with me in a civil manner, which is a lot of you. I'd never come across this type of behavior before, so thank you to everyone that shared similar stories and their endings. I needed to see those stories. I have shared this with my sister and she agrees that we need to get him help. As I said in some comments, therapy or openly discussing mental health isn't very common in my country, so it genuinely didn't cross my mind as a possible solution. All I was thinking is, talk and reinforce boundaries and consequences. I see now that this kind of behavior warrants some professional intervention and I have begun looking for an expert that can help us deal with this. I believe in my son and believe that he can change, and I'm grateful to everyone that didn't completely write us off. Thank you. Info. Have you actually talked to him about why he does it? At 10 years old, he should be able to communicate it as long as he feels safe to tell the truth. I agree with the others that suggest that counseling might be effective here, in case the counselor picks up on some detail that you didn't think was important. Trying to just tell a 10-year-old kid not to do something can result in unexpectedly worse behavior if he doesn't have a decent enough grasp on why you're telling him not to do it. He might take the instruction too far or not far enough, depending on his interpretation of what you're saying. Not the asshole. I would advise getting your son into therapy. Children don't always understand adult boundaries and obviously that needs to be explained to them, but he is clearly fixated on her to the point of obsession. Especially if he is concerned that she will not love him unless he is constantly in her space. It seems like there is a greater issue at play. This is very much a job for a mental health professional. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with him, but he might be coping with something else in an unhealthy way. He's 10. You can't just tell him to work on his obsession and expect him to solve this on his own. He needs more help than that. How about getting him into therapy so you guys can gain insight into why he's doing this and any fears, concerns he has, and develop strategies to cope when your sister needs some privacy and downtime. I want to raise a responsible child, which means correcting him when necessary. Rather than trying to correct his behavior by telling him what to do, try to listen and empathize with where he is coming from so you can get to the bottom of it and work through it together and teach him why it's important to respect her boundaries. Why did you let this go as far as this though? You should have been putting a stop to each and every one of the behaviors you listed. Why haven't you taken him to therapy? Am I the asshole for flipping out that he spent my cat's vet money to take his dog to the vet? I was saving money to get my cats fixed, up to date on shots and all that. I have 4 which I fostered originally but ended up keeping due to other issues. I've had them for maybe 10 months I believe. My husband has had a dog for 2 years. I say, his dog, not because I do not love her to bits but because she is most definitely a one-person dog and she hands down prefers my husband. They are basically attached at the hip and she has anxiety, sadness whenever he is gone, will stay in her kennel until he returns. She will interact with me very briefly before she has no interest. She's a good girl, but definitely my husband's. I saved enough for my cat's vet bills, totaling roughly $400 which was just an estimate that the vet gave me. I kept it in a shoebox in the closet. My husband knew about it and what it was for. Well, I had gone to the closet to count the money, as I was about to make the appointment for the cats and found it was gone. All of it. My husband was also gone, so was his dog, but this wasn't exactly not normal. He brings her everywhere he can. I call him, no answer. He calls me back 10 minutes ago and tells me he had to rush his dog to the vet because she was acting funny and couldn't hold herself up. He told me he used my money. He can't even pay me back unless business picks back up. We own a company but right now things are rough. Turns out his dog had a contact high because his ignorant buddy, foreman, decided to blow weed smoke in her face. So he used all of my cat's vet bill money over his dog having a contact high and yes, I'm pissed. My cat's getting fixed isn't a huge deal, all female. I just wanted to get it done and over with because of the howling when they are in heat and because they are outdoor cats and there's male strays in the neighborhood, farm cats. But still, I don't think that's the point. I told him I was pissed and that this was unacceptable and he retorted with, I was in a complete panic. I thought she was dying. So I asked him directly if he saw this dude blow smoke in her face and he said yes. So I asked why the fuck he didn't put 2 and 2 together and what symptoms she had that were so severe that he had to take my cat's vet money to begin with, and he told me, well, she kept closing her eyes and rocking back and forth. Maybe because I'm an outsider on the perspective end, but I would have been able to tell she was contact high and not blown $380 for the vet to tell me that. I told him I fully expect his foreman to pay us back that money, since he did it, and I haven't let him off the hook for taking my money to begin with. He says I'm an asshole because, what if it happened to your fucking cats? I was panicked and thought she was dying. You're heartless. Am I the asshole? ETA. When we got the animals, business was booming. Our business started plunging last month due to lack of demand, which is the first time this has happened in the 8 years we have been up and running. We didn't just get animals we couldn't afford. My cats are farm cats. I don't care about your keep your cats inside, bad pet owner talk. Farm cats help keep the mouse population at bay. That's what they are intended for. Sorry you feel some type of way about that. Also, the foreman is unlikely to pay that money back. Your husband is delusional if he thinks that someone who thinks it's funny to blow smoke at a dog will think it's worth taking an animal to the vet over. He took your money, you have outdoor cats you can't care for. Your moments from having oops litters or feeding coyotes. Look for a low-cost spay and neuter clinic near you to get those cats fixed. Your story and timeline don't add up. Quit neglecting your animals. Make the foreman pay the vet bill. Not the asshole he stole from you, and prioritized his pet over yours. I don't think it'd be wrong for you to go after the foreman legally. You have a right to be angry. In the future, don't save up money in a shoebox. Get your own personal savings account. Am I the asshole for sabotaging my little brother's and my birthday party? Me and my little brother have very similar birthday. My brother's 12th birthday is today, while my 17th birthday is 2 days from now. Because of this, starting from when I was about to turn 5, after my brother was born, I have always remembered that my family have officially stopped celebrating on my actual birthday, and rather prefer that we celebrate both of our birthdays on my little brother's birthdate. And whatever compromise that I have, my parents had always dismissed. Like when I asked if we can celebrate on the day that's between our birthdays, my parents would respond that it would be rude to my little brother to celebrate his birthday late, but celebrating mine earlier isn't. Or when I asked if we can just have 2 separate birthdays, my parents have stated that that was a stupid idea because that wasn't cost-friendly and it was too time-consuming to have 2 separate birthday celebration. Especially since the birthdays were so close to each other. It gotten so bad to the point that no one in our extended family even remembers when my own birthday is, because everyone believes that me and my brother have the exact same birthday. Which makes me hate how close me and my brother's birthday is. So, for this birthday, I ended up doing some changes for this year. With the money saved up, I ended up buying a decorated cake that said, "Happy Birthday, brother's name," only, and switched up and tossing the cake that had both me and my brother's name. I ended up hiding all the pink decorations, and leaving behind only the blue ones. And I also made sure to scribble off my name off anything I can get my hands on, like the banners, invitations, letters, etc., so that only my brother's name and information was on it. And, on the day of the party, I rejected any gifts toward me and stated that, since it is my brother's birthday today, we should be celebrating his day since I hate celebrating my birthday on a day that isn't on my actual birthdate. This caused a mixed reaction to a lot of family members, but it ended with many respecting my wishes and focusing on the birthday boy. My brother was the only one that was completely happy about it. Probably because this is the first time that he was able to celebrate a birthday that was his own and he enjoyed getting all the attention for himself. My parents, however, was livid at me for being petty and childish enough for wasting my time and money, and especially their money, with all the vandalism that I did, sabotaging this party. In addition to that, they were also mad that I made them look bad, because a lot of our family are giving my parents flack for making it look like they are prioritizing my brother over me, as well as complaining that my insistence that they focus on my brother on his birthday to be unsettling and worrying. I mean, I think I may have gone overboard just a bit, but I don't think I did anything that wrong. Am I the asshole though? Not the asshole. Your level of petty is absolutely masterful. Besides, your brother was happy since he finally got to have his day to himself, and now your extended family knows you weren't okay with this situation. Not the asshole. Except for tossing the original cake, that's a waste of perfectly good food. Not the asshole. They've been dismissing your feelings and have been unwilling to compromise with you for years. All you did was give your brother a solo party. It isn't fair for either of you to have to share a birthday on his special day. You're two separate people with two separate birthdays and honestly, too old to be having shared parties. Not the asshole. You made it about your brother since your parents and family make it about him anyway. I hope you get to celebrate your B-Day in a way you prefer. Not the asshole, and executed amazingly. You targeted your parents, the Oz, and didn't take it out on your brother whom others in your position may have resented, and you made his day better. Good going, sister. I wouldn't have tossed perfectly good cake though. You could have at least eaten it tears of joy.